All right, welcome back, guys. Episode 2, Mac Dad Games coming at you. Where we left off, pretty simply, is I was trying to just get through the first day here and not make a crazy long, first video. So, just want to get the house built and get myself a little established in my soon-to-be village. So, this episode, I mean, I might tackle, the rest of the season here. We'll kind of see how long it takes. But again, I'm going to try to be weary of my time. So, first things first, right? I do want to get right into actually knocking down a few more of these trees because I am going to need a lot more sticks. I'm going to need a lot more logs. There are two more buildings that I 100%, actually, technically three more buildings that I want to prioritize right now and get built here fairly quickly, definitely today. One of them is going to be another house, and then one of them is going to be the first extraction building, which is a woodshed. Very important because, like I said, I've played through this game a few times already, and this is going to be an informative playthrough. I want to teach you guys the ways to make this game enjoyable and fun for sure. And obviously efficient, right? Like you're building a village, and you don't want to do it all yourself forever, especially what I'm doing right now. This becomes very annoying after you've done it 100 plus times, right? And it's not like, I'm never gonna knock down a tree ever again, right? I'm gonna still always do this, always be happy to help out. But as soon as I can get a villager out here doing the tree chopping for me, the better. That also allows me to be able to go on and do other things and know that I'm still collecting resources back at the village. So, got about 16 logs. I'm going to go and knock down a few more of them. Another thing I want to note real quick, if you notice when you're taking down the trees, you actually leave some stumps behind. So, nice thing to know is if you leave the stump alone, the tree will grow back in 2 game years. So, you have to get through spring, summer, fall, and winter twice. All right, so 8 full seasons, and then the tree will actually grow back, which is cool. However, if you want to take your shovel and actually dig that stump up, it'll be gone permanently, and the tree will never grow back. Now, this has been a very big issue for the entire game because there's no way for you to plant actual more trees. However, fun fact and good news, like I mentioned in the first video, the developers of the game are, pretty on it with this game, and they're doing a lot of updates. And there's actually an update coming up, I want to say this month of June, or at least towards the end of it, where they are going to allow you to plant your own trees finally, which is actually super cool and something that the medieval dynasty community has been asking for a long time because it does make sense. I mean, in real life, you can plant a tree, you know what I mean, and I'm sure it'll take a while for it to grow, but it is a really cool feature to have. That way, if because a lot of people try and make the trees, part of their village, right? You want to play around them and maybe have one of these big maple trees like right in the center of like your just like a certain district or something like that. So it is a really cool thing that they are adding, and I'm actually very, very excited for that. But all right, we got 28 logs, a few sticks there. Let me actually just run around and grab a few more. See, now that it's daytime, I'm sure you guys can actually see these little like twig looking things a lot easier. Those are really going to be your best friends when it comes to gathering sticks. Now, again, luckily, this is pretty obvious to see. All of this stuff that I am doing is very, very early game. And it's not going to take long before sticks are not much of a thing that you have to run around and collect. Similar to the logs, when you get some guy actually collecting those, he can also collect sticks for you as well. So you can definitely get someone doing this stuff. But they're also really only a thing you need for your tier 1 buildings. Once you unlock some more buildings, higher tiers, you can build stuff out of stone eventually. And again, that's not going to require sticks to do so, which is very nice. But all right, so now that I've got a pretty decent amount of materials here, I'm going to kind of get right into an idea of the layout of my village. So the bulk of this whole open space is really a big beach, right? That's ultimately what it is. I think I kind of want to build a road that both goes along the back side of this and leads over towards this mine, which I actually just realized on the first video, I didn't really give you guys a full layout of this entire location, so shame on me. But yeah, it's basically one big giant beach, and like I mentioned in the first video, but didn't show you, is there is a cave right here, which is super nice. Again, I love having a cave. Whoa, is this a dead deer or something? Oh, oh crap. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That is, oh man, that actually scared the crap out of me. That's pretty rare, honestly. So usually so here's the thing, right? That's a random event. There's a bear that lives in this freaking cave. You've got to be kidding me. Holy crap. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's the first time I've ever seen that. I have built in locations near a cave multiple times, and not once was there a situation where there was a freaking bear in the cave. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, but damn, that's a pain in the ass. At some point, he's gonna have to get taken down. I'm gonna leave him alone for right now, though. He seems to be just chilling in there. But anyway, before we got a little sidetracked there, let me go see what's in these barrels real quick. My whole point was trying to build the layout of the village here, and get to thinking. Not really anything good there, but I'll take it. I want to have a main road. I don't really want to think. I don't know if I want to have a main road along like the full-on beach here, because I'm really trying to think about how I can play this as like a beach village area. So I might just have more of the houses along the beaches, but also try and create some really cool like hangout areas on the beach, if that makes sense. So there's just nice views. But I do like the idea of the houses being on the beach, kind of like where I put mine already. So I'm going to stick with that, but I think the main road I'm going to want to have kind of alongside the hill here, right? Like on the flat area, but along the hill, essentially leading down to the cave, really, and then, a little bit into that area over there. But one of the first buildings I want to get placed is going to actually be the woodshed. But in order to do that, I need to unlock some more building technology, and an easy way to do that is actually going to be building this well. So I'm going to plop a well down just, right here. Honestly, again, it seems like a pretty random location, and it 100% is something that I will very easily and most likely move later on in the game. But for right now, I want to build that just so I can unlock the well or the woodshed. Wow, one more thing I have to build before I unlock the woodshed. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'm gonna do really quick, just for fun. Break that. Rebuild it. Break that. Rebuild it. There we go. That unlocks my woodshed. That saves some time. Alright, so going over here, going to extraction, woodshed. So again, kind of trying to play the game pretty realistic, right? I think it makes sense to have a woodshed right where there's going to be a bunch of trees. Kind of making our way into the forest here. I would assume this is where my guys are going to be chopping down plenty of trees. Because I do like to play off of the topography and the landscape as best I can. So the fact that there is this beautiful forest, I don't plan on digging up really any of these stumps. Early game, I might have to knock down a good chunk of these trees, but I know they'll grow back if I leave the stumps. So I'm going to do that for sure. A lot of my open aspects and buildings are going to definitely be throughout there for sure. I'm not looking to build like the largest village here by any means. I mean, I've definitely done that with like maxed out fields, orchards, you name it, buildings that, span around this entire location, if not more, right? So for this playthrough, I don't think I'm going to do that too much. I think I want to utilize this entire flatland and open area, and I might dip out to this location a little bit. I think I might use this open farmland, though. I'm sorry, this open, landscape right here on the hill for my farmland, actually, because it makes a little bit more sense to have your farm on some of the hills versus like a lot of buildings. So that's the route I might end up going, kind of having it a little bit on the outskirts, but up there. So for now, let's get the woodshed built up here. Oh, crap. Yeah, I need some stones. Handy dandy survival sense and the inspector mode will make that very easy. So I'm going to run through here. Try and grab at least 8 stone real quick. Was that one right there? Yep, stuck in there. Over here, grab a few more. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Bang. There we are. All right. 6 logs out of my 16. Still got plenty of straw. There it is. So here's my woodshed. The woodshed is going to require an employee, a villager, if you will. Now, of course, we ourselves can go up here and actually use it, and now we can turn our logs into planks or into firewood. But really, you want to get a villager to do all that for you. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I am going to have to actually knock down a few more trees to do this, but I'm going to have to build a whole nother house. Obviously, this other villager that I'm going to be bringing into my village ain't going to be living with me. I want him having his own house that eventually I can have a lady villager also move into, and they can get married and they can have kids and, you know, live a happy life. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to knock down just a few more trees here. That way I know I have enough logs to build a whole other house there. Run through this real quick. Bang, bang, boom. I love the maple trees, man. That is actually probably my favorite thing about this location for sure, is the maple trees. I will admit, a lot of the other locations I've built in, even in the valley map, not a lot of locations have a bunch of maple trees nearby. Birch trees and then a lot of spruce trees you'll run into pretty frequently, but not the maple. So I do really like that, I will admit. Alright, let me knock down one more here, and I think that should be plenty. Get this guy. There it is. Bang, bang, boom. Alright. Yeah, what is this? 24 logs now. I think that should be enough to do another house. Let me see here. Oh, wow. I need literally one more log. You gotta be freaking kidding me. That's embarrassing. Alright, let's knock down this little baby tree right here real quick. Get that going. Take a quick sip of my beer. Don't mind me. Alright. There it is. Plenty of logs, ready to roll. So what I like to also do, again, I think it's a very realistic thing in the olden village, medieval dynasty world life, you know, is making the people live near their jobs, right? So since I'm going to have the woodshed right here kind of in the woods, I'm thinking I want to get the house built like right here kind of on the edge of these woods, but still like kind of in there. So I'm going to actually place it right here. Again, this might be moved in the future for sure. I'm not going to say that all this is entirely permanent right at this second, because I'm also just building wattle houses, which obviously will be upgraded to stone as soon as I can realistically make that happen. It does make the villagers a lot happier, and ultimately it looks a lot better. And then as the more you get into the game and you go through the seasons, you actually have events happen per season sometimes, and like these crazy storms can roll through and actually damage your buildings. So a stone buildings, of course, can be a lot stronger than a building made out of sticks. And having it not get damaged as frequently is definitely a nice thing as well. I'm going to give this guy some windows on this side of the house as well, so he can also have a view of the water there. That's beautiful. Maybe one more in the back. This one's kind of going up on the hillside there, so I don't think as important. This one allows him to kind of see his workstation a little bit, so I think that's pretty nice. Get the door in there. Get our roof up. Get the side walls. Other 2 roofs, and then last but not least, the attic. Perfect. We now have a house for a potential villager, which I'm actually going to go recruit here next. I want to get him rocking and rolling ASAP. So another important thing to every village to show you guys here is storages, right? So you want to have a resource storage and a food storage. Now the food storage I don't have unlocked yet. All I need to do is start doing a little farming, which is honestly super easy, and you'll see that soon enough, but not a major priority right away. Resource storage, also not a major priority because it does require a lot of materials to build, and I'm not going to run through all that right this second, but it is 100% something that will be built very soon. But my whole point of showing you guys this is villagers do require things, and so do their jobs, right? So in order for this guy to chop down trees, for example, he's obviously going to need an axe to do that. So before I have the resource storage, I can actually come over to the chest right here on the woodshed, and I can place one of my copper axes in here. So I'm going to actually give him the better one, honestly. And eventually, of course, if it breaks, I'll have to give him some more. But just going to put one in there for now. That way I can have the other one. So one copper axe in there. So once I finally get him on the job, he has a tool to start chopping down trees. But he's also going to need water and food himself, which if you look at the bottom left there of my screen, I'm going to actually need that in a second here as well. But let's get this little spot set up for him. So I'm going to put 10 of my dried meat in here. And then I actually need to take one of these buckets that I have and run over to my well, and I'm going to fill that bucket up with water. So if you go to your well, and you can actually craft it, and you can fill up a water skin or a bucket with water. Now, the food storage later on in the game is where you're going to keep your food and your water. And if you have a food storage in your village nearby, the villagers themselves can just go and grab their water and their food from that. So it's going to make automation a lot easier later game. But for early game here, we kind of have to do all this manually. So I have to put water and food in his house for him, and even firewood. That way he can, have a fire, and especially in the wintertime, he's not getting, cold. So his house is all set up with food, water, and firewood. His workstation is ready to go with some tools. Real quick, if you look at the bottom left there, guys, all the way from the left inwards, you have your stamina bar, you have your health bar, you have your food bar, or hunger bar, I should say, and your water bar. So I just filled up the water one, and the cool thing is, if you haven't really noticed, and I haven't really mentioned it, but when you first start the Oxbow, you actually do get food to start off with, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to eat one of those oat rolls real quick, and that's going to fill me right up. Alright, so here we are. The good news is I took down all of these wolves, so now I can run through here, peacefully without getting attacked. But I am going to real quick just skip forward because I'm actually just going to jump right back over to Piastovia so I can recruit that villager we saw earlier with the level 3 extraction. So, be right back. So real quick, actually, because I actually just remembered that this abandoned building location actually a very good one. So I was on my way to Piastovia here. Didn't of course get there yet, but I actually want to stop here because I can probably snag some really solid stuff from this building. I'm gonna do that real quick. Looking in this chest, a couple clay bowls, some coin, and some salt. 100% gonna take that. Potion of weight. I will absolutely take that too. That definitely helps you play the more realistic intended way without using unlimited carry weight. So I'm going to snag that, and I will be using those in the future for sure. I like to always look up in the nooks and crannies, by the way, because you'll be surprised. You'll find some times where you'll look up there and they'll actually have like a little coin purse. And that's always good to find. But the other thing that's cool about this building, so if we look on the map here, where I'm at location-wise, is right in the middle of this little triangle, a little bit northwest of this crescent thing, just north of Piastovia. This could be missed pretty easily, but if you find this building, if you go down here, there's actually an underground basement that has some pretty sweet stuff. So a bronze pickaxe at 98% is huge. Rye beer, mead, more rye beer. That stuff sells for a good chunk of change, so it is nice to have that. 158 coin in here, some hot plants, and some carrot seeds. Also a bronze shovel. I love that as well. Bronze is the next tier up after copper, so really nice to have that. And a $750 golden ring. So another early game place to go and grab some solid materials and things to sell. Don't forget that. It's literally just north of Piastovia here, where you actually start the game. Highly recommend running here. Whoa, there's a dude right here. Salesman. What the heck? What you selling, brother?
How do you do?
I do pretty good. Can I help you with something? No thanks. So maybe I can help you. What do you got? I can help you fulfill your dreams. Look at this architectural gem. Look at this view. It can all be yours for a very reasonable price. I don't remember ever dreaming of purchasing any ruins. What? Can't purchase ruins. He's a snake oil salesman. Let's see what this guy's all about. For 400 coins, are you kidding me? What are our options? That's crazy. Yeah, I'm totally gonna go with this option. Your words really cut me to the bone. I would never pull anything like that. Maybe someone else would recognize a real bargain. I hope not. Yeah, that's stupid. I've actually never run into that before in my entire life. If one of you guys playing through this and you buy this ruins for 400 bucks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy. But I am gonna scope out the place here. Go up here. We got another copper axe, 23%. Not great, but we'll take it. Some empty beer bottles. Another side to it. I'm gonna go check over there real quick. Oh, I thought I could run through. Oh, I can't. There we go. All right, let's run up here. See what we got. Potion of saturation, instant healing. Ooh, some beer. So the actual beer is definitely good to find. Like I said, you can sell that stuff. The bottles themselves don't go for much, but later on in the game, for sure, if you do find them, it is honestly nice to snag those. You can make them, in a workshop later on in the game out of clay, and you can definitely have a production guy making them for you. Because if you do end up, brewing your own beers in the tavern, which 100% we're gonna end up doing, like, just makes sense. It's very fun, and again, easy money maker to sell all that stuff. You will need the bottles for sure, but not a major priority for me right now. Anyway, those ruins are honestly very close to Piastovia, so let's just run right in here and let's talk to that buddy of mine I saw earlier. I think it was this gentleman, Taslaw. Yep, level 3 extraction, and he's only 18 years old. He's a baby. Let's bring him on in. Isn't this land wonderful? I thought I was just about to pass through, but seeing it all, I believe it will be my new home. And you are right, my good friend. I'm creating a new settlement, and I'm looking for good people willing to join me. Say no more. My kind of guy. All right, task law is here. Beautiful. So very quickly, guys, I'm going to show you how to do this. Really the easier way right now. So let's see what we got. I got him in here. If you look at the top left of the screen, you're going to see a couple of emblems there. The first one is the house. He doesn't have a house right now, so that's not very fun, and that would suck. The next one there is food, right? He doesn't have any food to eat because he doesn't have a house. He also doesn't have any water or firewood because, again, he doesn't have a house. Because I already placed the food, water, and firewood in the house, all I have to do is go over to my management tab, click on him, and assign him the one empty house I have in my village. So early game, this is very easy because I only have one house and I know exactly where it is. But later in the game, you can actually run up to the house manually, which I will show a little bit afterwards, and you can actually place him in it manually, which is going to be a lot easier and better to do later in the game when you have a bunch of them and you're trying to make sure you're placing them in the right house. But for now, I'm going to plop him right in there. And you're going to notice real quick on the top left, all 4 of those emblems are going to go away. Because now he technically has a house to go to with food, water, and firewood. So he's going to start getting happier again because he's a little annoyed right now, and for good reason. He didn't have a home. Next thing we're going to do is the same exact thing for the woodshed. So extraction level character here, he's going to be the best we're going to find right now. Level 3 out of, technically out of 10 of them, but you're not going to find anyone higher than level 3 around those campfires. So I'm going to place him in the woodshed right now, and I already put an axe in there, if you remember, so he can actually get right at it. So we're going to go over to the production tab, and I'm going to get him collecting logs right off the bat. Again, they can do sticks, firewood, plank, and spruce bark. But we can also do those things as well ourselves, and I just want him to prioritize knocking down some logs for me. So, which is really cool. And you see here, when I get this thing maxed out, he's actually going to be able to collect, I believe, 26 logs a day. 27. All right, we'll take it. 27 logs a day, maxed out. We love to see that. The day's almost over, by the way. It's already almost 6 o'clock, so I don't think he's going to do much. But as soon as we get into the final day of spring, he's going to start knocking down some logs for me. So when we go back over here, by the way, extraction, there is a woodshed number 2, which will allow us to actually hire 2 workers at that station at a time. And if you notice, 27 logs a day with one guy, as soon as you have a second guy in there, you're now bringing in over, like, what, 54 some odd logs a day. And again, that takes a lot of stress off of you. So keep that in mind, and we will... That's one of the things I prioritize early in the game for sure, is getting my extraction villagers up and running. Because I don't want to have to be running around, collecting logs and collecting stone. It does get very tedious very, very quick. So I'm actually going to real quick run over here and sell some things. Again, I can't sell all these things that I stole earlier, but I can sell this golden ring. I'm going to keep a lot of these things because I know I'm going to need it at some point. I'm not going to buy... I am going to actually sell the drinks. I don't care about the mead. It's 105 coin. That's really good. I'm going to sell that. Same with the oat beer, 75 a piece. I got 3 of them. That's 225 bucks. And then I have a few rye beer as well for another 170. So I've now got almost back up to 2 grand, or almost up to 2 grand. And I haven't even sold the very expensive stuff that I stole from frickin' Mirror God's house when we first started the game. So anyway, well, I'll do that when we get to another village. But let me stop here real quick and get back over to my village, and I'm gonna pretty much tie up this second video for you guys. Running up on my villager here, taking his sweet time, following the road. He's still got over 300 meters to go. All right, back at early beginnings of our village. So here we are. My villager should be back here pretty soon to enjoy his first night in the house. One thing I actually would love to do real quick as the sun starts to come down is honestly, I don't actually hate where I placed this road, to be honest with you. Kind of works out. I'm going to add a little bit more here. I want to bring it towards where the main road is, not far off in this wood here. So again, what I like to do personally is I do try and play off the topography and the nature and everything and go around all those trees. In the future, if I do take them down, I can 100% move the roads. But I like this. So now when you look at the map, you can kind of see like right off the bridge here and right at the end of this tail, like it's a pretty nice entrance into this village for sure. It just looks natural, right? I like that. I try and make it look as natural as possible. So now when I'm running in here, excuse me, you can kind of see it's right into the village. I do really like that with a natural feel going around all the trees. So I'm also going to carry on this way as well. I think what I'd like to do, I'm trying to think, which direction do I want to go? Do I want to go around that tree, or do I want to go, I think I'm going to go around it this way, kind of between these two. I like the idea of this. So I'm going to have it kind of hug it here and head right in towards this well and kind of off to the side of this guy's house. Because like I mentioned earlier, I want the kind of main road to be heading in towards that mine over there, with happens to have a resident right now that we'll be taking care of. Honestly, next episode, I am 100% going to tackle it. Might be a little tough with my 10 arrows, but I think we might be able to do it. I have a little trick that I'm going to teach you guys next episode on how to take down some bears. But anyway, let's finish this off real quick because it is getting dark. So I'm going to give him a little entrance here, a little path to get into his house. Boom. Then in his little path here, he's going to have a little entrance over to the woodshed as well. There we go. And then I'm going to have make one for myself here too. So further down the road, and boom, go off the edge here, and make a little road for myself. There we go. Nice. Village already kind of coming together. Again, I know it's a little dark out, hard to see, but putting down the road makes a huge difference in this game. Once you have roads leading to all the places you want to have things going, it makes it look so much better. So let's head to bed, and I'll see you guys back for the next episode and the next day, where I'm gonna claim the cave and take down that freaking bear.